feel like we're going to see a lot more Blaze coming out compared to match number 1, which we had none, basically.
Yeah. So, just to give you guys the maps, obviously it's going to be Towers of Doom and Braxis banned here. Ban on Towers by BlossoM, interestingly enough. And GLuck will have map choice. They will choose Towers, or sorry, excuse me, Battlefield of Eternity for the first map. So, that's where we're headed in terms of, you know, battleground choice. Now, I'm excited to see the approach that BlossoM takes here, because we talked about how this team has clear flavor. I feel like you can really see the character of the team in its drafts. Like, the ETC priority, for example, for GLuck is insanely high. And how does BlossoM respond? They've already removed Relic's best hero here, but that's a given. That would have been done against almost any other team.
Also, Milky Way's ETC has been
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's what I'm talking about, you know? That's the next go-to ban, I feel.
Yep, and that's the thing. GLuck, their go-to is ETC for Milky Way. But if we talk about Gondar, we have to bring that Garrosh up once more. And I have a strong feeling that it's going to be the second ban coming out from GLuck if BlossoM does not pick any of the strong tank before that ban phase happens. Going to leave that Hanzo alive, and this is Battlefield.
You know, I think this is at least okay in this case, because you have the ability to grab Tracer, and that's kind of how this trade-off has evolved in Korea. And now, you know, in the past, like in the last series, you would have left the Hanzo open only if Genji was not banned. Oh, go for it, GLuck. Okay. I got some in my throat.
You're dying. It's okay. You're gonna live because Uther's picked from BlossoM, and that's gonna give some protection for Garrosh, and also plus that armor. Garrosh is going to have that armor plus the healing trait from Uther. That's gonna be even more armor onto Garrosh. Built on Hanzo going to provide all that wave clear plus the poke. I think they already have a pretty solid draft going in here compared to Tracer Malfurion. Really depends on your playstyle plus the CC, the skill shots of each player that GLuck has. Milky Way will be the one playing Malfurion. Let's see if it's going to be Tranquility or Twilight Dream. Maybe this time more for Tranquility, as they will likely to build on their own snipe comp along with Tracer.
Alright, I think I'm back to life now.
Are you?
Kind of.
Kind of? Okay.
There's the Zeratul ban.
We need you.
So, not allowing that to come through. I don't know what I got in my throat. It's got me, man. I'm a commentator, can't talk, it's bad.
That's okay.
So, Nubrak will now get locked into the ban phase. Blaze comes through. So, a good pairing here. And also a strong denial pick, because obviously Blaze has been, excuse my voice, one of the solo laners that can counter Tracer because of the bunker. So they've taken that away from BlossoM, because BlossoM still needs a solo laner. And that's a solid approach. We'll leave Wiz's hero open to see what he's going to do in a little bit. The next thing we're looking for is a main tank, because I think you want to save your second DPS for flex. And Nubrak was the best ban here because it would be the best pick for the Tracer, like we saw earlier with so much CC. Even with Blaze's stun, it's like, well, you've got the best bang for your buck ever. So
usually you pair it up with Tyrael, and that's going to be the pick, because Malfurion lacks that burst heal in a way. Oftentimes Tracer needs that shield coming out from Tyrael, and that has been the way that a lot of Korean teams match this draft. Along with Tyrael, Malfurion, Tyrael, that has been the plus. Sometimes another pair of assassin. Maybe Taika's Zeratul was the way to go before. It has been used twice. It worked twice. Seems like a lot of the teams has figured out, and that's not the best way.
Yeah, I mean, basically, only other choice would have been ETC, given the hero pools of Milky Way, and for BlossoM, it's a tough choice now as to what's the next move. You have Uther, but you're playing against Tyrael, so Malthael, a little bit out of the question. Still a possibility, but very much running into a lot of problems with the Tyrael, and your damage over time isn't going to work well on Tracer.
And also against Tracer, I would rather provide some extra CC.
Like Dahaka's tongue grab. Gonna be okay.
It is
solo
going
lane
to be solo lane
ETC.
once again from Wiz, which worked last time with the stage dive. Not on this map. Before, I believe it was Inferno Shrine. Maybe I'm wrong.
I actually don't recall because it was just yesterday. I had to cram those VODs before today. Final pick here for GLuck is going to be their second DPS.
Oh, Sky Temple. It was Sky Temple before.
Oh, that's the best map for it, so that makes sense. That's where we saw it the most back in the day. The safest pick here, I think, for GLuck is actually Tracer. I mean, sorry, Li Ming. Just for the extra poke she provides. You've got an anti-dive comp. Junkrat serves the same role. He pokes, he chunks down the Immortal. So I think this is a great pick as well. It does give you some extra CC, and it's the same comp, almost exactly, from what we saw earlier from Miracle, where you have the Junkrat Tracer for all that extra burst with the Rip Tire. And it's a comp that can obviously do very well, given the right circumstances. But the comp of BlossoM has, removed the Anubrock, which I thought was a fantastic choice, and has the ability to set up a lot of big plays with Garrosh and ETC stuns, and has the better protection to set up plays with ETC's Mosh Pit because they have the Divine Shield. In terms of the Immortal race and pick potential, got to give the edge to GLuck, but this absolutely could go either way. This is a pretty even draft in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, having Hanzo for BlossoM is a big plus. They have enough CC, and I was talking about CC that they need a few more. I think that's just enough to take out Tracer, or slide stun from Uther, and maybe a grenade to finish off after the recall, because Tracer will be very low if she recalls back.
Overlord's on the Junkrat, so that's another reason why the Junkrat pick is strong here, because it's one of his best heroes. Looking at his hero pool, he's played 9 different heroes, it looks like, this season. Junkrat is his highest win rate with of heroes, with high plays. He's 57.1, 4 and 3. He's about the same with most heroes, but he's played this 7 times. Next most played is Li Ming at 3. So Li Ming still would have been a strong draft here, but he's shown us some really cool mechanical plays, and even in games he's lost, he's looked really strong on this hero.
I like this lane swap.
Yeah.
Because Wiz barely has any wave clear until 7, so forcing this rotation to be made from BlossoM. Nice start off from GLuck. They do have the wave clear and a little bit more pressure and utility coming out from T-Real plus Tracer.
Yeah, so this is just kind of a little bit of bullying. And they've got Junkrat can obviously run down here and look how fast this clears, so you don't really lose much. You've also got the shields from Tyrael to buy time. Because of Gondar, look at Gondar's positioning, they actually do back away. I like that Gondar is kind of threatening, like, yeah, you want to chunk this down with Junkrat? Well, you're going to pay for it, so even though in a perfect world you would win this wave and really win on both sides, you're not going to have that opportunity as I'm standing here.
Overlord trying to make that angle to toss one away into the wall, but not going to be easy as Gondar is standing right next to it. And ETC getting super pressured.
Yeah, so this
He's not really losing EXP, but it's really hard to wave clear, losing some structural damage though.
Yeah, Malfurion doesn't offer much to this lane, and because they have Junkrat and Blaze, who's got really good wave clear himself as a tank, you've lane swapped in a way that allows this bullying to happen, and you're not losing very much on your end. Now this is why BlossoM makes this call, because when you're winning this hard, but you can't really get structural damage done, but you're really kind of like, I have this shoved forever, you can make plays like this. So notice Gondar is just sitting here trying to get some Q stacks while he's pushing the wave. There's another Q stack. Very happy with that. And then you have this wave one. GLuck on the other side on the 2v1 solo lane, they are not going to be able to push this as quickly. So BlossoM is actually winning out right now because of the clear time of the camp. Whereas his Tracer, Malfurion, takes 2 years to clear the camp. 2 years later, okay, it's done. It's the top lane. Tyrael's gone up there, and I feel like BlossoM actually gets the better end of this.
Yeah, the speed. In terms of siege, I think BlossoM is better. It seems like they are, in the long run, because of those shields, maybe with the minions and the camp, with Tyrael Tracer, can push for a long time, but BlossoM, after they take the 4th time, they're going to make that big rotation. I don't know if that's the best choice. Winning the sport and the Immortal race very soon, I think BlossoM has it.
Yeah, BlossoM definitely has the better end of this trade. Obviously, the top wave is really strong right now, so like you said with the shields there, it's a heavy wave with instead of just like the camp doing damage. So ETC is gonna have to stay up there. Meanwhile, Hanzo picked.
Nice play by Overlord.
Yeah,
getting that thrown off.
Okay, will they get another one? Gondar very low, and this is all you know, partially because triple. This is partially because ETC stayed top because the wave was so heavy because of the material shields you were talking about. So you were exactly right at what you said. The long-term push was an issue. GLuck got that first pick with the Overlord concussive, which again is one of the reasons why he's got his highest win rate on the Junkrat. And now tables have turned. GLuck takes a half-level lead, very likely to win halftime.
They made this happen. Well, BlossoM made this happen by choosing ETC solo. And when ETC is missing from the fight, basically Tracer can do whatever, link in and do all the damage. There's a power slide trying to do the last bit of damage. Blaze survives all that.
Yeah, Saren's lucky he had that easy retreat path with his charge. Nothing to interrupt him there. Modern and his crew here are going to start to win this race, obviously, with the heroes they have, the Tychus, the Hanzo. It's no surprise. He went Redemption, as you mentioned earlier. Relic's going to have to use a recall here. They're trying to invade to see if they can turn this. They have a hit point lead, and they do have Malfurion's long sustained healing versus Uther, so they could try to at least eliminate some of the shields, but the reality is they'll never win this. BlossoM can eventually poke this down with Hanzo. Hopefully this lag is only on our end, not on you guys' end, but little frame drops there for a second. Okay, 2 more stacks here. Good power slide coming through for Wiz, but gets pulsed here. They're going to try to burst down ETC of all heroes, but it's got a lot of sustainability with that armor. Gets away here. But the longer fight is starting to go to Malfurion. Remember, he's got that longer healing. And the Junkrat damage is so real here, what we were watching. Just chunking everybody down.
There's a recall and did all the damage, and basically Junkrat was doing free damage.
Junkrat plus Malfurion, man, wins this fight. Junkrat doing constant damage, Malfurion doing way more constant healing than Uther could ever.
And BlossoM was focused way too much on Tracer. Tracer survived, Hanzo got the Immortal, but it ended up being a good trade for GLuck anyhow. 3 kills and even more structural damage with Blaze on the bottom lane already.
So the small victory here is that BlossoM gets the Immortal, but the big victory is that GLuck gets a level and a half lead. Because of the respawns and everyone's coming back, they get to crush the Immortal before it even really gets through this wall. It's going to get 1 cannon tower and I guess the gate, and that's going to be it. And sure, BlossoM was so close to getting that bottom fort, which we go all the way back to the commitment there of the 4-man bottom, which one wins. The fort wasn't killed, so that experience is still not unlocked to end up getting that 2nd cannon tower. And see, this fort is still up, so Saren could stick around here, even though he's being bullied. And GLuck is in a good position in terms of getting to level 10. Will this type of fight continue? Will they be able to win this fight with a longer healing post 10? That question remains unanswered. It's going to be a lot harder with the tools that BlossoM has to win those types of fights, but they're also going to gain that extra burst from Tracer's upgraded Pulse Bomb and the Riptire, and that's going to happen first. So GLuck can, if they play this correctly, maintain this lead in this next Immortal fight.
Well, for now, when they were having a team fight, the damage input into Tracer was not the maximum. I think they really have to get the kill when Power Slide goes in, Face Melt with the pinball damage, even more from ETC, perfect scatter damage from Hanzo, maybe some Tychus with the grenade can be a kill, but if that doesn't work out, they're losing lots of the resources, and if you Power Slide in, you cannot exit that point.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
once Tyrael has his holy ground at 13, I think ETC will be going into his own death by Power Sliding in to grab Tracer.
I mean, the concussive mines too, and, you know, Hanzo on the other side here needs to be able to consistently get into position to kill these members, and Tracer makes that so frustrating when you've got the shields and Hanzo's almost able to get these kills and Malfurion's healing everybody up. It's really cool you mentioned this all the way back in the draft, but the shields of Malfurion, or sorry, of Tyrael buy you a lot of time to get that healing off, which is the same reason why we see Tranquility. Similarly to how Tastar Malfurion was a thing briefly, because you could live through the burst damage with the shield, then the heals would come through to compensate during that time. So I like the Tranquility here. You don't need the interrupt of the Mosh and everything else, because the Mosh is the only thing you're really worried about, minus like a few other things like Garrosh running into taunt, but you have Sanctification for that, so you don't really need that interrupt. You need that longer healing to win the same kind of fight we just saw. BlossoM is going to have 10 though. They're going to have to fight for this victory, but they will have 10 so they can make this fight happen, because what we were worried about before was maybe they lose this more before they even have 10. That's not the case.
There are lots of tools to stop Mosh Pit. Let's see if Wiz goes for that stage dive once more. But he's joining the team fight here, as I think it's going to be Mosh Pit locked in then.
It's rough, man. I feel like
it feels like it has to be Mosh Pit, right?
If you lock in the Mosh, you better make it worth it in this fight. Otherwise, you're going to regret it for the rest of the game.
There are lots of TCs like Guts and Mines, the Sanctification. Anything can stop that Mosh from happening.
I think he's just hoping he's going to lock it in during a power slide and get a pick on a Tracer or something like that. Okay, they actually made this pretty close. Trank's coming up. Here comes the Rip Tire. Mosh is locked in. And Wiz needs to find use for it. I don't think he can. Everyone's at nearly full health on the side of GLuck. And this is a disaster. They win it by 287 hit points here only, but they might get some picks. BlossoM needs to back away. And this snowball begins to start. Even though it's a tiny shield on this Immortal, it's still a full health Immortal. That's how it works. And BlossoM needed this opportunity to prove that their comp works post-10. They failed to do that. They almost lost members. And I feel like from now on, GLuck is just going to walk all over them. The Mosh Pit means that who's going to stay on the top lane? Like, who's going, or sorry, you know, the lack of stage dive, I should say, rather than the Mosh. Like, who's going to stay up there? Who can deal with the push? Blaze is just going to constantly send waves. He's rotating down slow. And he could actually flank. Look at where Blaze is going. They're looking for the dive here, post behind the fort. Relic looking for a pulse. Here comes Blaze. Only gets the one stun, but it's enough. Pulse on the Nasong is going to make it the double. And Concussive Mine might make it the triple. The Nasong heals will save Gondar, but this means the keep wall is going to take some damage. And they're going to send Blaze back to the top lane to keep pushing. This is a disaster for BlossoM. This is not what they wanted. And Mosh still hasn't been used.
It's not what they wanted, but this is what they made from draft, having ETC top. It costed a lot. Even Divine Storm. I think they have enough CC with Warlord's Challenge, the Mosh Pit, the arrow from Hanzo. That's enough stun, I think. They need more protection. I was thinking of Divine Shield was going to be 100% in this case, but that Storm seemed like desperate in that teamfight. I think was insta locked in.
Yeah, I feel like without Divine Shield too, like the argument is even stronger for using stage dive, because you don't have the holy cow potential. You have cleanse, obviously. That's what you're gonna have to try to use, or the element of surprise, so to speak. Let's be real. You know, Wiz is a great player, but he's not Hooligan. Okay, he's not Noblesse. Gonna need those cleanses. Pulse here onto Gondar, gonna kill him for anything further can happen. The cool thing about Pulse Bomb versus Garrosh is, guess what? Since it's burst and instant, the armor not going to save him. It happens right before it applies. Now, 14 to 11, they were able to get another pick, push this keep wall. They're going to steal this camp all before the Immortal fight even starts. Before it even starts, GLuck, 25 seconds left before that occurs.
I'm going to write my memo here. Relic, Tracer, pretty good.
Relic is just good on any type of high skill cap assassin. Overlord's good on any sort of unusual assassin, which Junkrat kind of fits the bill. He's been really good on this hero.
And mostly skill shot based mages.
Yeah. Like, BlossoM is going to try to win this race. They're down a talent tier. GLuck is going to invade. Saron in a rough spot here, but does set up the bunker, which is going to force everyone out. Oh, gets the stun out of the bunker. Wiz barely surviving for a moment. Survives with the pulse bomb, but gets taken out right afterwards. And Tranquility means no way they ever could turn this fight. Never, ever, ever. And GLuck, I think that we might have first perfect game of the night. We had a few close calls in our previous series, but that bottom fort, it never went down. BlossoM 3 dead. And Overlord's just gonna let me solo this. You guys, can you just work on that keep wall so when it comes with full shields, we're gonna just win the game? They're like, nah, only some Blaze. Tychus has to go top because they don't have a traditional soul laner. Tychus is like the best wave clear next to Hanzo at clearing this.
So let's think about this when we go to the next draft. Of course, this game is not over. When Hanzo's open, do you let that combo place plus Blaze plus Tyrael and Junkrat to the other side? I think that this kind of comp can apply to all maps that's open right now for this match. So BlossoM may have to give up Hanzo in this case.
I think that there's an argument for that, sure. And that's why we saw the Tracer bans on the previous series, even though, I think Tracer can be dealt with. It just feels like some players are so good at her. I feel like the problem here is the lack of pressure in the top lane. No solo laner means no pressure whatsoever, so GLuck can just do whatever they want.
There's the Odin pushing in.
Yeah, and they're going to walk away, let that time out. And they have decent poke with Junkrat. Serves the same role as Li Ming.
Perfect CC combos. Perfect mosh pit along with the perfect storm.
Okay.
Walks in.
Milky Way trying to set up for a Sank here. Gets it. And this is just going to be mosh pit interrupted in a second. There's a kill for BlossoM, so no perfect game. This is going to be easily the one immortal here. It's 13k shields. Nasong does go down. He has some extra healing here. Can Wiz make something happen? He doesn't have that mosh anymore. He goes down, and it's just the Malfurion healing is too much. He finally dies, Malfurion does, but the healing has just already been done. Sauron's going to get the double stun here. This is going to be the picks to end the game. Gondar, 50 armor, not going to be enough to save him here, as he's got no health left. They're just going to walk top. We'll have Tyrael up in just a few seconds. BlossoM's got one more chance to fight, but they're not going to have any heroics to really set this up. Hanzo going to be the best opportunity they have. And Sank is still up. It didn't actually...
it was interrupted.
Yeah, it was interrupted. It was in the perfect place to use it, but it wasn't.
And I don't know why Junkrat died there by Hanzo, but I guess he was trying to hard back home and got hit first. But that was off camera, and let's pretend like that didn't happen here.
Sure. You and I would never pretend on broadcast. Only tell the truth.
Yes, only tell the truth. Do not lie. And BlossoM, they poured all the CC. The taunt, except for taunt, everything was there. I think in the last team fight, the mosh pit was there, Storm was there, the arrow was there. But look at this. The damage is not there.
Divine Storm going to be enough to kill Tyrael here again before Sank goes down. That's their idea. They don't have the Anubra, but they can kill Tyrael before he can Sank. They can stun him out of it. The Blue Beetle is zoned out here as well. So finally, using that CC to good use, preventing the Sank seems to be, in the last fight, what got them a pick, and in this fight, what won them the fight. And, you know, BlossoM, if they can keep doing this over the next Immortal phase, they've got both keeps alive because they took that last fight.
Yeah, they got too excited. Last time they backed up when the Odin was up. This time, when Odin was coming up, they were not being passive. They wanted to go for that keep. Little bit of aggressive coming out, and look at the positioning of Gondar trying to go in.
And because, you know, we were joking earlier about the perfect game, it's definitely not the case now. This fort was left alive for so long. They're just getting bonus experience now to try to catch up to 20. They've got another fort top lane that could give them that extra bonus. And with these keep walls still up, BlossoM has, if they win the next team fight, a very real chance of getting 21st and, you know, getting the first keep even. They're on even talent tiers now, so GLuck needs to be careful not to get too excited, as you say, in this next Immortal phase.
Because they did that. This is not the first time they did this. They were winning in team fights, few of them, and then they really go for that, tried to go for the keep, and they end up costing all their lives and not even getting the keep. It happened a couple of times already within the last few matches. So I think if they work on that part of the decision making, they could be a better team, maybe climbing up to the 4th spot, actually giving them the Eastern Clash. They're looking for it right now. Gondar gets stunned by that Immortal.
He'll be alright. Lucky timing there, he got stunned. Look at that concussive. Oh my god, Modern is so dead. The deadest of dead.
Overlord.
The mine there plus Holy Ground, like there was no way out. Another good Holy Ground here. Gondar stepped too far forward, punished, uses taunt. Stun comes through right afterwards. Here's the Mosh. They're using that CC, but Junkrat's going to interrupt here with the Riptire.
No Tychus, no damage, no Odin. That's the end of this team fight. They should have backed up right after that. Tychus was dead at that moment.
It's actually pretty impressive what Relic just did. I don't know if you guys caught that, but he was running towards to try to get the pick on the Garrosh, but realized he has too much armor. And I don't believe he had the Pulse Bomb yet at that moment. Even if he did, I don't think it would have killed him. And he sees Garrosh is about to Q. He just walks away. Might have gotten the kill, but decides to walk away because he knows that stun potential is there. I don't know if Garrosh ever even finished his Q quest this game. I don't know if we saw that earlier. I didn't notice it if he did. But it's been... You know, it's tough to Garrosh against a Tracer whose positioning is so good, like Relics, and Overlord obviously never going to be caught. Blue Beetle you know, has Ice Block, and it's just one of those tough heroes to kill. And we've seen a lot of tosses of Blaze, which becomes a bunker. We've seen a lot of tosses of Milky Way, which has led to kills once or twice, but usually leads to a Sank. So it's tough to make Garrosh really the initiator in these fights. It needs to be ETC and Hanzo together. And they don't have Divine Shield to make that even easier, which is a problem.
There's the Odin. Now backing up, because without that Odin, they have been lacking damage every single time.
And again, GLuck is just going to kind of let that time out a little bit. That's been their plan against the Odin. Saron just kind of poking through here to help zone everybody back. Zankly is burning oil slicks so that people are taking damage. Uther can't really deal with that.
Look at the positioning of Overlord, trying to toss that Tychus away.
Okay, here we go. This could be huge. This could be a huge Riptire opportunity. Already a pick here. Don't even need it. Double kill. Gondar stuck as the Tranquility heals everybody. They're already at full health. There's the Riptire. Gonna knock Garrosh out of this fight. Wiz, Power Slide was good, but not good enough. And that is going to be the near full team wipe. And that's going to be GLuck walking to victory here as Overlord just chucks these final explosions through. I don't know what to call those things exactly. The little grenades. I don't know. This is ammo. So it's the Junkrat thing that he throws at people, blows up. The bombs.
The junk stuff.
The junk stuff. It's you know, I would call it junk, but to be honest, it's quite effective and very potent.
Quite strong. Quite strong. Not too strong. So let's go back to Uther. And what's that Divine Storm needed? I think it was given, or 100%, 200% should have been Divine Shield in their way, saving Tychus a few times at least, or having that perfect mosh pit even.
Well, if they had a strong soul laner too,